Namo Buddhaya. One of you have asked from us, how can we kill the laziness? How can we do the things without laziness? Okay, today from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to discuss that how can we do the things without the laziness and how can we kill the laziness. To kill the laziness and to do the things without laziness, to stop being lazy in our works, our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us that you should have 4 great qualities. If you have these 4 great qualities within you, you will never feel lazy in your works. You will never feel lazy when you are doing meditations. You will never feel lazy when you are doing studies. To accomplish anything, any special goal in your life, you need to have these 4 great qualities. So what are those great qualities? These are known as 4 iddhipadas. The first great quality, the first iddhipada that you need to have to accomplish anything in your life and to do the things without laziness is called chanda. What do you mean by chanda? Chanda means the desire. If you have the desire for doing something, in one way or another, you are going to do that because you like it, you love it. If you love what you do, or if you do what you love, you will never feel lazy. Now, suppose that you are going a trip or a picnic tomorrow. So tonight, when you are going to bed, you never feel sleepy. You never feel lazy because your mind is excited and you love that day, that coming tomorrow. So you are going to be happy in that day. So if you are doing something that is you like, that you are passionate about, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do? To kill the laziness, to do the things without the laziness, you need to generate the desire for doing that. If you are doing meditations, you need to have a desire for doing that. Without the desire, if you do the meditations and do the spiritual practices without the desire, you will feel lazy. That is the first great quality, chanda. Here comes the second one. It's called the chitta. Chitta means the mindset. You need to have the determination and you should have the correct mindset to do the thing that you want. You need to have a great determination that I will do this thing today. Right? You need to have that mindset of not giving up. If you have the correct mindset to do something, you will never feel lazy. Because you are well focused to that. Your mind is focused to what you are doing. When your mind is focused to something, you don't feel lazy anymore. You don't feel giving up anymore. You don't feel bored anymore. So what you have to do? You need to have a correct mindset to do that work. Then you will never feel lazy. That is the second step. Third step, and the third great quality, that's called the virya. Virya means effort. To do something, to achieve any good goal in your life, you need to give some effort to that. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to sacrifice your time, your life, your blood and sweat to do that. Then only you can achieve that. When you are dedicated for something, when your mind is dedicated for something, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do? You need to dedicate yourself and you need to try hard in your works. Try hard in your studies. You should never give up in your meditations. Then you will never feel lazy because you are committed to that. You are dedicated to your work. That is the third step. That is the third great quality. Here comes the fourth great quality. That is the final one. It's called the vimansa. Vimansa means investigation. You need to investigate what are the ways that I can do my work easily. What are the ways that I can be more productive in my work? If you investigate yourself in your work, then you can kill the laziness. Because sometimes we do the things that we don't love and that we don't like. If you have the power of investigation, that what are the things that I like to do? What are the things that my heart feels free to do? If you do those things, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do? You need to have these four great qualities. First one is called chanda, the desire. Second one, chitta, the mindset. Third one, virya, the effort. And the final one, vimansa, the investigation. So if you have these four great qualities, you can do the things without the laziness and you can kill the laziness in your life. So practice these qualities and escape from the laziness and be happy in your life. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. The words that we speak have a great power. Remember, words can make people as well as the words can break people. Therefore, our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, advised us to speak always the nice words. Supreme Buddha advised us, you should not speak harsh words. Supreme Buddha said, Mavocha parusang kanchi. Do not speak harsh words. Why? Vutta pativadeyutang. If you speak harsh words, you will be spoken harshly by someone one day as a result of that action. That is the law of karma. Supreme Buddha said, Dukkahi sarambhakatha. The harsh speech, rude words, angry words is a suffering for everyone. Patidanda puseyutam. If you speak harsh words, you will be spoken harshly one day. That is the result of those actions. So that is why our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us to always speak nice and gentle words. Because no one in this world would like to be spoken by anyone harshly. No one likes to listen angry words. No one likes to be scolded by someone. Sometimes in life, we may think to solve the problems, to deal with arguments, we need to be angry. We need to be stubborn. We need to speak harsh words and we need to hurt others in order to control others. But that is wrong. Remember, our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us the best way to control the people, best way to win the hearts of the people, win the trust of the people, the best way to deal with the arguments is to use the kind words. The perfect example for controlling people with kindness is our great teacher Supreme Buddha. Supreme Buddha never used harsh words, angry words to control people, to tame people. Supreme Buddha used the kindness, compassion, loving and pleasurable words to speak with people. That is why millions and millions of people loved the Supreme Buddha in the Buddha's time. They loved to listen to the Supreme Buddha's words. They trusted the Supreme Buddha's words because it was very nice. It was kind. It was gentle and it was healing like cool water. So, when we are dealing with our life problems, when we are dealing with people who are very toxic, when we are dealing with arguments, remember, you should watch what you are speaking. You should give a big concern about the words that you speak. Because words are like a weapon. It's like a knife. Now, when we take the knife, we can use the knife in order to do something good as a useful thing. Right? We can use the knife to cut vegetables and cut useful things. And also, knife can be used to kill a person. So words are like that. Words can heal the broken hearts of the people, as well as words can break the hearts of people. Sometimes words can lead someone's life to the death. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, never speak harsh words, rude words, angry words. If you speak angry words, what is the result? You will be spoken angrily and you will get hurt by the same words one day by someone else. So as the result of that action, according to the law of that karma, you're going to go through a hard time one day. So remember, when you speak the words, you have to think about what you are speaking. Supreme Buddha advised us that you should not speak all the things, all the thoughts that comes to your mind. Normally, people don't think about the thoughts that pop up in their mind, right? Supreme Buddha advised us that when a thought arises in your mind, you have to consider about that thought, whether this thought is good or bad. Whether this thought is going to hurt someone else, or is this thought is going to hurt myself. So if it is an evil thought, Supreme Buddha said, you should abandon that. You should not act upon that thought. You should not speak with those thoughts. That is why Supreme Buddha said, Manasache paduttena bhasativa karotiva. If with an impure mind, if one acts or speaks, Supreme Buddha said, Tato nang dukkhamang veti chakkang vahato padang. The suffering will surely follow him like the cart wheel that follows the ox. So, dear devotees, you need to think twice before you speak. You need to give a big concern to what you speak. When you are speaking a word, always let those words to go through these 3 filters. Now, normally, people use filters to filter out the bad things from something good. So you need to flow your words through these 3 filters before you speak. So what are those 3 filters? Remember, before you speak any words, always think, is this word is a lie or a true? So when you think that, you can stop lying. So that is the first filter. And the second filter is, before you speak anything, always think, are these words are going to hurt anyone? Then you can stop the rude words that you are speaking. And the third filter is, always think, are these words are useful or not? Then you can stop the useless words that you are speaking with your mouth. So let your words to flow through these 3 filters. Then your words will be pure. right? If you speak gentle and nice and true words, everyone will like you. Everyone will like to be with you because everyone likes to listen to nice words. Everyone likes to be with people who speak nicely. So always speak gentle and nice words. Never speak harsh words to anyone. Remember, words can make people and words can break people. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. One day, a young man called Subha came up to our great teacher Supreme Buddha and he asked a question from the Buddha. Subha asked, "Oh, Venerable Sir, I see a huge difference in this humankind. Some are long-lived, some are short-lived, some are very beautiful, some are not that beautiful, and some people are very wealthy, while some people are very poor." So this Subha asked, "Venerable Sir, what is the reason for this difference?" Then our great teacher Supreme Buddha explained, "Young man, all the beings are owners of their actions. All the beings hire to their actions, the karma. In Buddhism, we call the action is known as the karma. So all the beings are owners of their karma, as well as all the beings are hire to their karma." Supreme Buddha said, "The karma is their relative. Karma determines their rebirth, and karma is the factor that divides the beings into low and great." So, you see a big difference between these humans, right? Some are very poor, some are very wealthy, some are very beautiful, some are very ugly, and some are long-lived, some are short-lived. This difference is made with our own actions. So you may find the people or the beings or humans who are short-lived. They may die in maybe in their childhood. Some children, some babies may die in their mother's womb. Some children may die in their early childhood. So the reason for this short life, is Supreme Buddha said, if someone kills animals, if someone takes the animal's life away, and if someone becomes rude to animals, as a result of that action, those beings who committed such actions will be reborn in hell, in a bad destination in the next life. If that person did not reborn in a bad destination, as a result, he was reborn again in this human world. Supreme Buddha said, he is short-lived. He will have a shorter lifespan. So the reason behind this shorter lifespan is committing the killing beings, committing the action of killing beings. So if we kill animals, remember, our lifespan will be shortened. So we need to give a big concern to not to kill animals. Now normally, you don't kill animals, you don't kill big animals, right? Normally people don't kill them. But what about little mosquitoes? Do you kill them? Do you kill mosquitoes? Normally, most of the people, they kill mosquitoes. And what about little ants that will bother you in your households? People kill ants also. Remember, mosquitoes, ants have the same life as ours. They deserve to live in this world same as us. So if we kill animals, remember that bad deed, that evil deed will give a result of shorter lifespan. And in the other way, Supreme Buddha said, if someone become kind to animals, if someone saves the animals' lives, he will have a longer lifespan as a result of that action. So if you need to live long, if you need to have a long lifespan, what you have to do is save the animals' lives. Be kind to animals around you. Never hurt them. Right? When you see little ants floating on water, right? You need to save them. When mosquitoes bite you, do not kill them. Right? Now, same as you, now you don't like to go to the death, or you don't like to be dead while crushing to something, right? If you were to die, if you were to find the death by crushing to something or some machine, what will happen? Is that a good death? No, you don't find happy in that, right? So same feeling goes with these mosquitoes. If you crush them, same feeling will give to them. So what you have to do not kill mosquitoes. Do not kill ants. They deserve to live same as us. They have a life same as us. They love their life same as us. So what you have to do? Save the animal's life, right? Be a lifesaver. If you save the animal's life, you will have the opportunity to live long in this world. So that is the secret behind a longer lifespan. So be kind to animals. Don't be rude to animals. Never ever kill animals, and always be a lifesaver. If you do that, you will have a longer lifespan. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. In life, when we are dealing with people, sometimes we get into arguments with them. Sometimes people may accuse us for so many mistakes, maybe the mistakes that have been done by ourselves, and also for the mistakes that has done by others also. So when we are in an argument, sometimes we may face those arguments in an unsuccessful way. If you face an argument in an unsuccessful way, you may hurt yourself as well as you may hurt the people who are complaining you. So today we are going to find out how to face an argument and how to deal with an argument when you're being accused. So today I need to share 2 useful tips that you need to practice in your life to win an argument without hurting others as well as without hurting yourself. This great advice was given by our great Arahant Sariputta. He was the chief disciple of our great teacher Supreme Buddha. So he was the great person who gave us this great advice. Our great Arahant Sariputta says, if you have been accused by someone, if you are in an argument, you need to practice these 2 tips. Number 1, first of all, you got to be cool. You need to stay cool always. It means you should not be angry. Because Whenever your mind is covered or controlled by anger, Supreme Buddha taught us, if you speak out of anger, out of that anger, your words are evil. So the evil words may hurt yourself as well as to the others. And if you act out of anger, those actions will be also evil. So those actions will cause damage for others as well as for you. So first thing that you have to do when you have been accused is to be cool, to be patient, right? Don't be panicked. Don't act out of anger. You need to control your emotions. If you can control your anger, you are a great person. Because many people in this world, they cannot control their anger. They just let the anger to pass out of them. They act in anger, they speak out of anger. Don't let that happen to yourself. Because anger is not something that you should be happy with yourself. Anger is a failure. Anger is a fault. And also remember, the people who are being angry always are weak. So you should control your emotions and you should stay cool whenever you are being accused. That is the first thing that you should do. And the second tip is you should always speak the truth. Now, normally when we get into a trouble, when we are in an argument, when we are being accused by someone, normally people tend to speak lies, right? Because they like to escape from that problem by telling a lie. Remember, never ever lie in an argument. If something that has happened, if a mistake has happened by yourself, you need to say that I have done this. I admit this and I admit my fault and I will correct it. So you need to stay in the truth always, right? Never ever lie. Because sometimes if we lie in an argument, if we lie when we are being accused, we have to say 10 more lies to cover that, to protect that lie, to save that lie. If you tell the truth, right, you don't need to remember anything anymore, right? So if you speak the truth, you don't want to remember anything. Just you say the truth and let the things happen to yourself after telling the truth. Let it happen. Because bitter truth is better than sweet lies. So what you have to do, always speak the truth. Don't ever lie, right? So it will make a depression inside you, right? You need to remember everything that you said in that argument. So you need to speak this truth always. So these are the 2 tips to win an argument. Because if you speak truth, remember, the person who is accusing you may blame you, or you will get into a trouble in your life. But remember, after that argument, after that accusation, you will win the trust of that person. Because he may start to think, this person had the opportunity to tell a lie and escape from that problem, but he did not do that. And he will get that idea that you are a person who always speak the truth. So it is better to have the trust of the people around you. So what you have to do? You have to speak the truth. As well as, if you stay cool, people will like you very much, because no one likes to be with an angry person. No one likes to associate an aggressive person. Always people like to associate people who are very cool, people who are not getting angry very much. So what you have to do in your life, practice these 2 tips to win an argument. If you practice and if you master these 2 tips in your life, I am very sure that you can win many arguments, you can win many problems in your life when you are dealing with people, as well as you will win the trust of the people around you. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. As humans, we all know that we make mistakes in our life. Mistakes are a common part of all of our lives. But do you know what most unsuccessful people do when they make mistakes? They point their mistakes to the outer world, saying that this mistake was happened because of that person, because of that thing, and because of this outer world. They do not admit their fault. Do you know what most successful people do when they make mistakes? They admit their mistakes and they move on. Remember, if you admit your mistakes, if you accept your mistakes and you start to move on, you will start to grow. You will start to develop your qualities. That is why Supreme Buddha said, these purity and impurity entirely depends on you. You are the author of your life story. That is why Supreme Buddha said, by one's own misdeeds and evil deeds, one becomes impure. By one's own wholesome deeds, he will become pure. Purity and impurity entirely depends on oneself. No one can purify another. So that means the purity and impurity entirely depends on you. If you do mistakes, if you do misdeeds, if you do evil things, those results of those mistakes is yours. If you do a wholesome thing, if you choose to do good, those good consequences of those actions also yours. So what you have to do is, you should always choose to do good things in your life. So how to choose always to do the good things? Remember, Supreme Buddha said, when a thought appears inside your mind, you need to consider whether this thought is good or bad, whether this thought is helpful for me and to the others, or whether this thought is going to distract my inner peace and the inner peace of others. If it is a good thought, if it is going to help you and to the others, you need to make it to an action. You need to do it again and again. And if it is an evil thought, you need to stop doing it. You need to avoid that evil thought. That is how you choose the difference between the good and bad, and that is how you choose to do always the good things. I know choosing to do always the good things is very hard. But remember, doing hard things makes our life easy tomorrow. Because all the good things, all the good achievements, all the wholesome things in this world are hard. We need to admit that. So do what is hard, do what is good, always choose to do good, and one day you can be happy about your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. Now, in society, we have heard some people may say, being kind is a weakness. The people who become kind to others are weak. People may say like that. So today, from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to find that how to be kind without being weak. So first of all, we need to know that kindness itself is not a weakness. Kindness is a virtue. It is a great quality that you can have in your mind. But people consider the people who become kind to others, people who are very compassionate to others, are weak. But that is not the reality. So how can you be kind without being weak? So it reminds me a wonderful discourse in Supreme Buddha's teachings. In that discourse, it says, if you can maintain your patience when you are powerful than the other person, if you can maintain your inner peace when someone complains you or someone hurts you, even though you are more powerful than that person, that is the greatest patience that you can have in your life. So, being patient, being silent, doesn't define that you are weak. So, how to be kind and how to be patient without being weak? So, you should not go to the arena of negativeness. It means you should not be patient out of fear. And you should not go to the arena of aggressiveness. That means you should not be aggressive to others. Instead, you can be assertive. You should not be negative and you should not be aggressive. Instead, you can be assertive. So, what do you mean by assertiveness? Assertiveness means being kind and maintaining your inner peace without being aggressive, and still you can be confident. If you can be confident as well as if you can be kind to others, that is what you call the assertiveness. So, when you be kind to other person, that does not mean that you are weak. So what you have to do when you become kind, you have to be wise also. So the kindness mixed with wisdom is the best kindness. You can be kind. If those people, if those evil people or toxic people comes to you and start hurting you again and again, you have to take yourself back. You can stay away from those people. You should not fall into the same trap again and again. Instead, you can be away from them. And that is what you call the assertiveness. So, in your life, you should be kind as well as wise. When you become kind and as well as wise, you become assertive. That is what the real kindness is. So don't let anyone to control your inner peace. Don't let anyone to change your emotions and make you sad. Instead, you should be assertive. You should maintain your inner peace and be confident and be patient and be kind to them, but never ever be angry and hurt others. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide program. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 great advices that our great teacher Supreme Buddha gave us in order to have a peaceful life forever. And also, if we follow these 3 instructions, Supreme Buddha told that you will have your rebirth in heaven. So what are these 3 instructions? Number 1, Supreme Buddha said, always speak the truth. If someone speaks the truth in his life, Supreme Buddha said, he can live a peaceful life. Now, telling lies is an easy thing to do. It's very easy. When you are in a problem, when you are in a difficult situation, you can tell a lie and just escape from that problem. But remember, you are not escaping from that bad karma, bad action. You cannot escape from those results of those bad actions. So telling lies is a thing that we should not do in our life. Whatever difficult situation comes up in our lives, whatever disadvantage that you get from telling the truth, you have to say that, because bitter truth is better than sweet lies. So our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, advised us to always speak the truth. That is the first advice. If we follow that advice, we will have our rebirth in heaven and we can live our life happily. Number 2, Supreme Buddha said, do not get angry. It is easy to get angry with someone. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha said, Sukarani asadhuni attano ahitanicha. It is very easy to do evil things which brings the unhappiness and suffering to us as well as to the others. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha said, you should always do what is good. Remember, doing good things is very hard. Being patient and not getting anger into your mind is very hard. We have to admit that. Though it is very hard, remember, if we did not do it, one day we will have to suffer because of our evil deeds. So maintain your inner peace by being not angry with anyone. Now, in this situation, you may not be angry with anyone. But when a problem comes up in your life, it is very hard to maintain your patience. It is very hard to maintain your kindness. It is very hard to maintain your compassion. So our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, advised us to practice love and kindness and do not be angry with anyone. If you maintain a peaceful mind without the anger, then you can be happy with your life. And also, Supreme Buddha advised us, and Supreme Buddha told us that the person who is not getting angry with anyone, the person who spreads his loving kindness to everyone, will reborn in heaven. So if you need a good rebirth, what you have to do not be angry. Number 3, the final advice. Supreme Buddha said, you have to give even if you have little. Now, if you have $1,000 and if you were to spend $1, it is very easy. But what will happen if you have $1 with you and you were to spend that dollar for someone? You were to donate that dollar for someone. Can you do that? It is very hard. But if someone becomes generous, even if he has little with him, Supreme Buddha said, that is the most worthiest gift. That is the maximum of being generous. That is the maximum point of generosity. That means to give even when we have little with us. Because if we were to give when we have a little, we are struggling with our ego in our mind. We are struggling with our craving in our mind. Because people do like very much for money and the things they are around us. They don't like to give them. They feel very hard to be generous. But if a person can live, if you can live with generosity, if you can give and donate and give alms to people, even when you have little, then you are being generous and you practice the generosity which brings the happiness to your life forever. And also, Supreme Buddha said, the generous person can have his rebirth in heaven. So Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, advised us you should practice these 3 tips or 3 instructions that was given by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. If you practice these 3 advices, you will have a wonderful and peaceful life in this life as well as in the other. So practice this and may you have a wonderful and peaceful life in this world. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvang Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Today from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to discuss how to be more productive in meditations. Today I'm going to share with you 3 tips which helps you a lot in meditations, to do your meditations without stopping. The first and the foremost tip that you need to practice in your meditations is to keep your expectations low. Because most of us sit for the meditation expecting that I'm going to meditate for 1 hour and I'm going to be concentrated throughout this meditation. Sometimes our mind is not ready to be concentrated. Now you know the nature of mind is it's like a monkey. It always runs here and there. It is easily distracted, easily frustrated. It is very clumsy. So if you make too much expectations, you will start to suffer because you are not having what you want in that meditation. So what you have to do is you have to know that the mind is impermanent. It will not be the same always. Sometimes your mind is very calm and quiet, and sometimes it will be frustrated and it will be more clumsy than you ever thought. So what you have to do, if you are meditating for maybe 15 minutes, if your mind become concentrated for only 1 minute, just you have to be happy with that. Do not expect too much, because the expectations stands for the sufferings. The more we expect, the more we will suffer. So keep your expectations low. When you are meditating, you always have to think that I will do my meditation as I can. Whether my meditation or whether my mind is concentrated for maybe 1 minute, it's okay. I can be happy with that. If you become happy with what you have, then you can move on. You have that willpower, you will get that willpower to move on to the next meditation. So people become frustrated when they meditate and when they not get what they want. So that is the first tip. Number 2, don't force your mind. Because the more we try to force our mind, the more our mind will be destructive. It's like a monkey. If we try to force a monkey to sit on a chair, what will happen? The monkey will not do that. It is not ready to do that. Same goes with your mind. If you force too much your mind to do the meditation, it will be frustrated and it will be panic more and more. So what you have to do not force your mind. Just let your mind to feel comfortable and relaxed in meditation. When your mind feels relaxed and comfortable in meditations, it will like to do the meditation again and again. So what you have to do is not to force your mind for the meditation too much. And that brings us for the third step. It is the consistency. There are some days that you don't get any concentration in your mind, in your meditations, right? Though you meditated for maybe 30 minutes, your mind would not be concentrated. But you should not give up. You should not stop. Because if we practice this consistency throughout this meditation. One day, there will be a day that your mind will get concentrated and your mind will obey your instructions. So what you have to do? Never give up in your meditations. Do it whether you got bad results also. Practice consistency. Consistency is the key for the perfection, right? You don't want to be talented. You don't want to be clever at first in meditations. What you have to do, all you need to hang on to that meditation and do it again and again and again. One day, you will be perfect at meditations. So practice these 3 tips and have a perfect and peaceful meditation in your life. Namo Buddhaya, Therwan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Imagine a situation that you have been accused for a mistake that you haven't done. So when someone scolds you, or when someone complains you about a mistake that you haven't done, can you maintain your inner peace at that moment? Can you be kind to that person at that moment? Most of us loses our temper and we start to prove ourselves that we are not wrong and you are the person who has gone wrong. So is it okay to do such things in such situations? Is it okay to always to prove that we are right in such situations? No. In some situations, we have to stay silent, we have to stay kind, and we have to maintain our inner peace without getting frustrated. So how to stay calm and peaceful within such adversive situations? Here's how to do it. In Dhamma, it says, if you stay like water, if you had a mind like water, you will have the opportunity to stay calm during such adversive environments. So how to stay like water? In Supreme Buddha's Dhamma, it describes about the water. The nature of the water is it can accept every negative thing. Now people use water for cleaning purposes. They wash their hands, they wash blood, pus, urine, and so many disgusting things. But yet, water does not complain. It does not blame. It does not become angry. It always maintains its peacefulness and it is always cool. So what you have to do in such situations, in such adversive situations, you have to stay like water. You have to say to yourself that I must stay like water and I'm not going to say anything and I'm not going to prove that I am right. So always maintain your inner peace. Don't let anyone to distract that. Don't let anyone to control your emotions and make you sad. Because if you make your mentality and spirituality distracted, that disadvantage is yours. If you maintain your inner peace in such adversive situations, that advantage is also yours. So what you have to do? You have to stay like water. Accept and absorb every negative things that comes from outer world. It may be criticism, it may be blames, scoldings, whatever the things they are, you have to absorb them and you have to emit another good thing to this world. You can be kind to them. You can stay silent and you can be patient. The more you develop these divine qualities, you can live happily in your life. You can have a heart that is without the anger and resentment. When your heart is escaped from anger and resentment, you can live freely and you can sleep better. So what you have to do? Stay like water. Be like water. The more you be like water, the more your life will be cooled. So I wish you all, may all of you have the opportunity to be like water and find the ultimate happiness in this world. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. In life, in some instances, we regret about the things that we have done in the past, right? We think that, oh, I shouldn't have done this thing. Right? If I did not do this thing, my future and present will be much better than now. Like that, we regret about the things that we have done. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us a way or the facts that you should develop within your life to build up a life without the regrets. So this great advice was preached by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, in Alavaka Sutta. In that sutta, it says, to build up a life without the regret, you need to have 4 qualities. You need to have 4 qualities. Number 1, Supreme Buddha said, you need to live a life with truthfulness. That means you need to speak always the truth. Now, when we take this fact, normally people think in order to escape from the problems, in order to escape from the difficult situations that they find in their life, they need to lie to the people, right? If they say a lie, then they can escape from that. Of course, for that instance, they can escape from that problem. But remember, if you say a lie, if you tell a lie to someone, you will have to remember that lie forever. Because you need to protect that lie without being revealed, right? So sometimes you need to tell 10 more lies to protect that one lie. So after the truth has been revealed, because one day the truth wins always. So after the truth has been revealed, the people will regret about what they have done in the past. They will think, oh, I shouldn't have said this thing. In that time, I shouldn't live that like that. So Supreme Buddha taught us, you should live a truthful life in order to live a life without regrets. Number 1. Number 2, Supreme Buddha said, you should be wise. You should have the wisdom in your life. So what is the wisdom? You should be wise in taking decisions of your life. Remember, your life is so valuable. It has a great value. The decisions that you make in your life, the choices that you make in your life will determine your success in your life. Right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you need to be wise in making choices in your life. So every time when the thoughts pop up in our mind, we make a choice to act on them. Right? When evil thoughts pop up in your mind, evil thoughts like anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy, when these thoughts arise in our mind, we make the choice to act upon them. And also when the wholesome thoughts pop up in our mind, we make the choice to act on them or speak on them. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you need to make a good choice. When the good thoughts arise inside your mind, you need to make a choice. I should do this. I should do this action. This is a wholesome thing. This is a good thing to do. Right? When the evil thoughts pop up in your mind, what you have to think is, think, no, these thoughts are not good for my life. These are harmful for me as well as to the others, right? So I should not do this thing. I should not speak like this. In that way, you need to make a good choice to always bring your life from evil to the wholesome. That is called the wisdom, the ability to find what is good and what is bad, ability to distinguish what is good and what is bad. It is called the wisdom. And also Supreme Buddha describes the wisdom so much far away from that point. But in your life, you have to be wise in making decisions. You have to be wise when you choose your friends. You have to be wise when you're dealing with people, right? If you live a wisdomful life, right? If you live a life with full of wisdom, your life will never remain in regret. So that is the second one. Number 3, Supreme Buddha said, you need to be courageous. In order to achieve any successful goal in our lives, we need to work hard. We need to work hard without giving up. Each and every successful person in this world had the courage to achieve those successful goals, right? Without hard work, without practicing, without the courage, you cannot achieve good goals in your life, right? If you did not have the courage in the time that you should have courage, right? After you become old, after all those chances are blown away from your life, remember, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you have to earn money when you are young, or you have to live a wholesome life when you are young. When you become old, if you did not earn money, and as well as if you did not live a wholesome life, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, be courageous in your life, right? Practice the courage. If you have the courage in you, if you have the dedication within your life, you can achieve the good goals in your life. That is number 3. Number 4, Supreme Buddha said, having all these qualities, you should be generous. So what is generosity? Generosity means ability to give the things in your life and share the things in your life with others, right? Normally people, when they become more wealthy, right, when they become rich, they don't like to give the things to others. Remember, life is not living only for yourself. Life is also about how we dedicate our lives for others, how we help others, right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you can be rich, earn money, no problem, but you should be generous. Don't be stingy. Be a helping hand to this world, right? So if you practice the generosity within you, you can be happy with yourself because you feel that you have done something good in your life. You have helped someone in your life, right? Helping people, the feeling that we get after helping a person, remember, that is one of the greatest and the sweetest memories in our life, happiest moments in our life. So help people, be generous. So if you have these 4 qualities in your life, what is that? Truthfulness, wisdom, courage, and generosity. If you have these 4 qualities within you, Supreme Buddha taught us, you will never have a life with regrets, and you can escape from the regrets in your life. So practice these 4 qualities and build up a life without the regrets. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai.